The invasion begins. The skies over New York City darkened as massive alien ships descended from the clouds. Traffic screeched to a halt, and pedestrians stood frozen in awe and terror. Captain Sarah Chen of the U.S. Air Force watched from the roof of the skyscraper, her heart racing. This was no drill, no simulation. The invasion they had feared for decades was finally here. Sarah's comm unit crackled to life. All units, this is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Alien forces have been detected in major cities worldwide. Implement emergency protocols immediately. As chaos erupted in the streets below, Sarah's training kicked in. She sprinted to the nearest elevator, her mind already formulating strategies. The human race had always wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they had their answer, and it wasn't the one they had hoped for. Within hours, reports flooded in from around the globe. London, Tokyo, Moscow, Beijing, all under attack. The aliens, with their superior technology, seemed unstoppable. Governments scrambled to respond, but their weapons seemed futile against the invaders' energy shields. In Washington, D.C., President Evelyn Rodriguez stood in the Situation Room, surrounded by grim-faced advisors. "What's our status?" she demanded. General Marcus Blackwood, a veteran of countless conflicts, stepped forward. "Madam President, our conventional weapons are ineffective against their defenses. We're looking at a global casualty rate of 30% and rising." President Rodriguez's jaw tightened. "And our nuclear arsenal? We've held off on using it, ma'am. The environmental impact would be catastrophic, and we're not certain it would even penetrate their shields." The room fell silent. The weight of the world's fate pressed down on every shoulder. Suddenly, a young analyst spoke up. "Madam President, we're receiving reports from around the world. People are fighting back." Screens lit up with images from across the globe. In Rio de Janeiro, civilians were using improvised weapons to ambush alien ground troops. In Mumbai, a group of engineers had jerry-rigged an EMP device, temporarily disabling a small alien craft. In Seoul, a team of hackers was working furiously to breach alien communications. President Rodriguez leaned forward, a spark of hope in her eyes. "What are we seeing here, people?" General Blackwood studied the reports, a slow smile spreading across his face. "Resilience, Nam. Ingenuity. The very things that have defined humanity throughout our history. We may not have their technology," the president mused, "but we have something they clearly didn't count on." "What's that, Madam President?" She stood tall, her voice ringing with determination. "The indomitable human spirit. We've faced extinction before. Ice ages, plagues, world wars. Each time, we've not only survived but thrived. We are a species forged in adversity, tempered by hardship. These aliens may have declared war, but they have no idea what they've awakened." As if on cue, reports began flooding in from military bases worldwide. Soldiers were volunteering in droves, despite the odds. Scientists were working around the clock, seeking weaknesses in alien technology. Ordinary citizens were organizing resistance cells, determined to defend their homes and families. In New York, Captain Sarah Chen led a squadron of fighters in a daring raid against an alien command post. Using unorthodox tactics and sheer audacity, they managed to breach the aliens' defenses and destroy the facility. As Sarah stood amidst the smoking ruins, she received a transmission from command. "Captain Chen, your success has been replicated in cities around the world. We're beginning to turn the tide." Sarah looked up at the sky, still filled with alien ships, but no longer seeming as invincible as before. "They may have started this war," she said to her team, "but we're going to finish it, because that's what humans do. We fight, we adapt, we overcome." As night fell on the first day of the invasion, humanity had sent a clear message to their alien attackers. This would not be an easy conquest. The war had only just begun, and Earth's defenders were ready to show the universe what it meant to be human. The aliens had declared war, not knowing that humans were born warriors. And now, they were about to learn that lesson the hard way. Uncovering alien weaknesses, Dr. Amelia Zhao hunched over her microscope in the hastily assembled underground laboratory. Around her, a team of the world's brightest minds worked feverishly, analyzing every scrap of alien technology and biology they could get their hands on. Time was of the essence. With each passing hour, more cities fell under alien control. Dr. Zhao called out her colleague, Dr. Rashid Patel. "I think I found something." Amelia rushed over, her heart pounding. For weeks, they had been searching for any vulnerability in the aliens' seemingly impenetrable defenses. Rashid pointed to his computer screen, where a complex molecular structure rotated slowly. "It's their amsosphere," Rashid explained, his voice trembling with excitement. "The aliens require a specific mixture of gases to survive. Their suits and ships maintain this atmosphere, but if we could disrupt it..." Amelia's eyes widened. "We could incapacitate them without harming humans or the environment." "Rashid, this is brilliant." As the scientists worked to develop a way to exploit this weakness, halfway across the world, another breakthrough was unfolding. In the ruins of Tokyo, Lieutenant Kenji Tanaka led a small team of tech specialists through the wreckage of a downed alien ship. They moved cautiously, aware that even a disabled craft could hold deadly surprises. "Sir," whispered Corporal Yuki Sato, "I'm picking up an energy signature. It's faint, but it's definitely alien tech." Kenji nodded, gesturing for the team to advance. They found the source, a small pulsing device that seemed to be the ship's central computer. As Yuki began to interface with it, her eyes suddenly went wide. "Lieutenant, this is incredible. Their entire command structure, it's like a hive mind. They rely on central control nodes for everything from communication to basic functions." Kenji's mind raced with the implications. If we could disrupt those nodes, we could throw their entire force into chaos. Yuki finished. Back in Washington, President Rodriguez received the reports from both teams with growing hope. She turned to General Blackwood, who had been coordinating global military efforts. "General, what do you make of this?" Blackwood's eyes gleamed with the first real optimism since the invasion began. "Madam President, this is the break we've been waiting for. The aliens thought their technology made them invulnerable, but they underestimated human ingenuity. We now have two critical weaknesses to exploit. And how do you suggest we proceed?" The general laid out a daring plan. "We launch a two-pronged attack. First, we use Dr. Zhao's atmospheric disruptor to neutralize their ground forces. Then, while they're vulnerable, we strike at their command nodes with the information Lieutenant Tanaka's team uncovered." President Rodriguez nodded slowly, considering the risks. "It's bold, General. But bold is what we need right now. How soon can we be ready?" "Give us 48 hours, Madam President. We'll coordinate with resistance cells worldwide to maximize our impact." As the plan was set in motion, a sense of nervous excitement spread through the human forces. For the first time since the invasion began, they had hope, not just of survival, but of victory. In New York, Captain Sarah Chen briefed her squadron on their role in the coming offensive. "This is it, people. We've got one shot at this. The aliens think they know war, but they've never faced anything like humanity with its back against the wall." Around the world, similar scenes played out. Scientists worked tirelessly to mass-produce the atmospheric disruptor. Hackers prepared to assault the alien command network. Soldiers and civilians alike readied themselves for what could be the decisive battle of the war. As the hour of the attack approached, Dr. Amelia Zhao stood before a bank of monitors, watching as units reported in from around the globe. She thought of all the lives lost, the cities destroyed, but she also thought of the incredible unity and resilience humanity had shown in the face of this threat. "They came here looking for an easy conquest," she murmured to herself. "Instead, they found a species that refuses to go quietly into the night." The countdown reached 0. Across the planet, humanity launched its counterattack. the air filled with the hum of disruptor devices and the crackle of electronic warfare. For a moment, the world held its breath. Then, reports began flooding in. Alien troops collapsing as their atmosphere was disrupted. Massive ships losing power and plummeting from the sky as their command network went dark. And everywhere, human forces surging forward, reclaiming their world street by street, city by city. As the tide of battle turned, one thing became clear. The aliens had made a grave miscalculation. They had declared war on humanity, not realizing that humans were forged in the crucible of conflict, tempered by adversity, and born to overcome impossible odds. The war was far from over, but for the first time, victory seemed possible. Humanity had shown that even against a technologically superior foe, the indomitable human spirit could find a way. The aliens had awakened a sleeping giant, and now they would face the full fury of a species that had spent its entire existence learning to survive and thrive against all odds. The counter-offensive. The war room beneath the Pentagon buzzed with activity as General Blackwood surveyed the holographic map of Earth. Glowing red dots representing alien strongholds were slowly being replaced by blue, signifying reclaimed human territory. It was progress, but not enough. Not yet. "Status report," he barked, his voice carrying over the din. Colonel Jasmine Harper stepped forward, her face etched with determination. "Sir, Operation Thunderbolt is proceeding as planned. The atmospheric disruptors have neutralized 60% of the alien ground forces. Our troops are advancing on all fronts." Blackwood nodded, his eyes never leaving the map. "And the command node attacks?" "Successful, sir. We've taken down 40% of their primary nodes. The alien fleet is in disarray." A small smile tugged at the corner of Blackwood's mouth. For the first time since this war began, they had the initiative. But he knew better than to celebrate too early. "What about Project Phoenix?" Harper's expression tightened. "It's ready, sir, but the risks are necessary," Blackwood finished. "Inform Captain Chen her team has a go." Thousands of miles away, in the scorched ruins of what was once Shanghai, Captain Sarah Chen and her elite squad prepared for the most daring mission of the war. Project Phoenix was humanity's ace in the hole, a plan so audacious it bordered on insanity. Sarah checked her specialized suit one last time. It was the culmination of weeks of reverse engineering alien technology, combined with humanity's own innovations. If it worked, it would allow them to infiltrate the aliens' mothership. If it failed, well, failure wasn't an option. "Team, sound off," Sarah commanded. Rodriguez, ready. The explosives expert, his suit laden with devices that could level a city block. Patel, ready. Their tech specialist, armed with cutting-edge hacking tools. Nguyen, ready. The team's sniper, her alien-derived weapon humming with lethal energy. Sarah took a deep breath. "Remember, people, we're not just fighting for our lives or our planet. We're fighting for the very idea of humanity. These aliens thought they could come here and wipe us out. It's time to show them what happens when you back humans into a corner." With a nod, she activated her suit's cloaking technology. The team shimmered and vanished from sight, leaving only slight distortions in the air to mark their presence. They moved swiftly through the alien-occupied city, their enhanced suits allowing them to slip past patrols and defensive measures. As they approached the massive alien craft that loomed over the Shanghai skyline, Sarah couldn't help but feel a mix of awe and determination. This ship, which had once symbolized humanity's helplessness, would now become the instrument of their salvation. Using the data provided by Kenji Tanaka's team, they located a vulnerable entry point. Patel worked his magic, bypassing security protocols that would have taken human technology centuries to crack. With a soft hiss, a portal opened in the ship's hull. "We're in," Sarah whispered into her comm. "Commencing Phase 2. As they navigated the labyrinthine interior of the alien vessel, Sarah marveled at the strange biology of their foes. The ship seemed almost alive, pulsing with an otherworldly energy. But for all its advanced technology, it had one critical flaw. It had been designed by a species that had never faced a serious threat, a species that had never needed to adapt, to overcome, to survive against all odds. They hadn't counted on human ingenuity. The team fought their way to the ship's core, facing waves of alien defenders. Their suits, combined with the element of surprise, gave them an edge, but the aliens' superior numbers made every step a battle. Finally, they reached their target, the ship's central processor. As Rodriguez set the charges and Guion provided cover, Patil interfaced with the alien systems. "Captain," he called out, his voice tight with concentration. "I'm in. Uploading the virus now." Sarah watched the progress bar on her HUD, acutely aware of the alien reinforcements closing in. The virus was a work of genius, designed to turn the aliens' own technology against them, transforming their mothership into a massive broadcasting station that would transmit the atmospheric disruption signal across their entire fleet. 60 seconds, Rodriguez warned as he finished arming the explosives. The upload completed just as the doors burst open, a horde of alien soldiers pouring in. "Fall back," Sarah ordered, laying down suppressing fire. They fought their way back to the extraction point, the ship shuddering around them as the virus took hold. As they leaped from the ship, Sarah hit the detonator. The explosions ripped through the vessel, crippling its defenses and ensuring the virus couldn't be stopped. As they parachuted to safety, the sky lit up with the distress signals of thousands of alien craft suddenly finding themselves vulnerable. All across the globe, human forces surged forward, seizing the moment. In the war room, General Blackwood watched as the holographic map blazed with activity. Alien strongholds fell one after another as their technology failed them. Reports flooded in from all corners of the earth. The tide had turned decisively. President Rodriguez's voice came over the comm, filled with emotion. "General, is it true?" Blackwood allowed himself a full smile for the first time in months. "Yes, Madam President. Captain Chen's team has succeeded. The alien fleet is crippled. We've won the upper hand." As cheers erupted around him, Blackwood's thoughts turned to the countless lives lost, the cities destroyed. The road to recovery would be long, but humanity had proven once again its incredible resilience. The aliens had declared war, not knowing that humans were born warriors. In their arrogance, they had awakened a force unlike anything they had ever encountered. A species that thrived on challenge, that grew stronger in the face of adversity. As the sun rose on a battered but unbroken earth, one thing was clear: humanity would not only survive this war, but emerge stronger than ever. The stars, once a source of terror, now beckoned with the promise of a future where humanity would take its place among them, not as conquerors, but as a force to be reckoned with. The war wasn't over, but its outcome was no longer in doubt. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and risen to meet it. And in doing so, they had written a new chapter in the story of their species, one that would be remembered for generations to come. Unexpected alliances. The smoking ruins of Paris stretched out before Dr. Emily Durand as she picked her way through the debris. Once she had been a xenobiologist, dreaming of the day humanity might encounter alien life. Now those dreams had turned to ash, much like her beloved city. A sound made her freeze, a low, keening wail unlike anything she'd heard before. Cautiously, she approached its source, her hand tightening on her makeshift weapon. What she found made her gasp. Trapped beneath a fallen beam was an alien, but unlike any she'd seen in the invasion force. It was smaller, with an almost delicate frame, and its eyes, they held an intelligence and fear that seemed all too human. Against her better judgment, Emily approached. The alien's wail subsided, replaced by a series of clicks and whistles. To her shock, she realized it was trying to communicate. Thousands of miles away, in the reclaimed command center of New York, Captain Sarah Chen was debriefing her team when an urgent message came through. "Captain, we're picking up an unauthorized transmission from Paris, reported Lieutenant Rodriguez, his brow furrowed in confusion. It's not in any language we recognize, but it's definitely not from the invaders. Sarah's mind raced. Could this be a new threat, or something else entirely? Patch it through, she ordered. The room filled with a series of melodic tones and clicks. For a moment, everyone stood in confused silence. Then, a voice crackled through. Dr. Emily Durand's. This is Dr. Emily Durand broadcasting on all frequencies. I've made contact with a non-hostile alien species. They're not part of the invasion force. They're refugees, fleeing the same enemy we're fighting. We need immediate extraction and a secure location for first contact protocols. The implications were staggering. Sarah turned to her team, seeing the same mix of hope and apprehension on their faces that she felt. "Get me General Blackwood," she said. Things just got a lot more complicated. Within hours, a top-secret facility in the Rocky Mountains became the site of humanity's first peaceful alien encounter. Dr. Durand, along with the alien she had rescued, who they learned called itself Zarthal, stood before a panel of Earth's top military and scientific leaders. Through a hastily constructed translation device, Zarthal's story unfolded. They were the Nervash, a peaceful species whose home world had been conquered by the same aliens now attacking Earth. The invaders, known as the Croton, were a warlike race bent on galactic domination. "Our people have been searching for allies," Zarthal explained, its luminous eyes scanning the room. "We never imagined we'd find them on a world the Croton thought would fall easily." General Blackwood leaned forward, his face a mask of cautious optimism. "And what exactly are you proposing?" "An alliance," Zarthal replied. "We have knowledge of Croton weaknesses, of their strategies and technologies. Combined with your species' incredible adaptability and fighting spirit, we believe we can end their threat, not just to Earth, but to the entire galaxy." The room erupted in heated discussion. Trust aliens. After all that had happened. But as the debate raged, Dr. Durand stepped forward. "I've studied xenobiology my entire life," she said, her voice quiet but firm. "I've dreamed of this moment, of finding intelligent life beyond Earth. Yes, our first contact was violent and terrifying. But here now we have a chance to prove that humanity is more than just a species that excels at war. We can show that we're capable of forging bonds across the stars." Her words seemed to resonate, and slowly a consensus began to form. President Rodriguez, joining via secure video link, made the final decision. "We'll proceed with the alliance," she declared, but cautiously. "Captain Chen, I want you and your team to work closely with the Nervash. Learn everything you can. If this is genuine, it could turn the tide of the war." Over the next weeks, human and Nervash worked together feverishly. The aliens' knowledge, combined with human ingenuity, led to rapid advancements in weapons and defense technology. But more than that, it led to understanding. Sarah found herself working closely with Zarthal, learning about their culture, their history. She was struck by how similar they were in many ways. A species that valued knowledge, exploration, and peace, but was capable of fighting fiercely when threatened. As they prepared for a major offensive against the Croton, Sarah reflected on the strange turn of events. "When this war started," she said to Zarthal, "I never imagined I'd be fighting alongside aliens to save Earth." Zarthal's expression shifted, and what Sarah had learned was their equivalent of a smile. "And we never imagined we'd find allies capable of standing against the Croton. Your species is unlike any we've encountered." "How so?" Sarah asked, curious. "You are adaptable in ways we've never seen. You take the best of what you encounter and make it your own. And your drive, your spirit, it's formidable. The Croton thought they were invincible. You've proven them wrong." As they looked out over the joint human Nervash fleet preparing for battle, Sarah felt a surge of pride and hope. The war had brought unimaginable destruction, but it had also forged an alliance that spanned the stars. The Croton had declared war, not knowing that humans were born warriors. But they had also never imagined that humanity's greatest strength wasn't just its ability to fight, but its capacity for unity, for turning enemies into allies, for growing stronger in the face of adversity. As the fleet prepared to launch, carrying the hopes of two species, one thing was clear. The universe was about to learn that humanity was a force to be reckoned with, not just on the battlefield, but in the grand tapestry of galactic civilization. The final battle loomed, and with it, the promise of a future none could have imagined when the war began. A future where humanity would take its place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as defenders, innovators, and bridge builders between worlds. The final battle. The joint human-Nervash fleet hung in the inky blackness of space, a testament to the unprecedented alliance forged in the crucible of war. On the bridge of the flagship Resilience, Captain Sarah Chen stood alongside her alien counterpart, Commander Zarthal. Before them, holographic displays showed the approaching Croton Armada, a vast swarm of ships that blotted out the stars. "They've taken the bait," Sarah said, her voice tense but determined. "They think they're launching a final assault on Earth. They have no idea what's waiting for them." Zarthal's multifaceted eyes glimmered with a mixture of fear and resolve. "The fate of both our peoples rests on this battle, Captain. Are your forces ready?" Sarah nodded, thinking of the months of preparation, the countless simulations, the fusion of human and Nervash technology that had led to this moment. "As ready as we'll ever be. Let's hope it's enough." Across the fleet, humans and Nervash worked side by side, their differences forgotten in the face of a common enemy. In the engine rooms, Dr. Amelia Zhou fine-tuned the revolutionary propulsion systems that would give their ships unparalleled maneuverability. In the weapons bays, Kenji Tanaka and his team armed the quantum disruptors, weapons capable of unraveling the very fabric of the Croton ships. As the enemy fleet drew closer, Sarah's voice rang out across all channels. "This is Captain Chen to all ships. The moment we've prepared for is here. The Croton thought they could conquer Earth, that they could extinguish the human spirit. They were wrong. Today, we fight not just for our world, but for all worlds that have suffered under their tyranny. Remember your training. Trust in each other. And let's show these bastards what happens when you pick a fight with humanity." A roar of approval echoed through the comms, a battle cry that transcended species. The space between the fleets erupted in a dazzling display of energy weapons and explosions. Human fighters, piloted by the best Earth had to offer, darted between the lumbering Croton ships, their enhanced reflexes and Nervash-derived technology, allowing them to dance through the enemy's defenses. On the Resilience's bridge, Sarah and Zarthal coordinated the assault, their movements in perfect sync. "Group Alpha, push through Sector 7, Sarah ordered. "Beta Squadron, cover their flank." "Zarthal, now." The Nervash commander activated a device that sent out a pulse of energy, temporarily disorienting the Croton's hive mind network. In that moment of confusion, Earth's ships struck hard, their quantum disruptors tearing through the enemy's once impenetrable shields. But the Croton were not easily defeated. Their central command ship, a behemoth that dwarfed even the largest human vessels, pushed through the chaos, its weapons laying waste to anything in its path. "We need to take out that command ship," Sarah growled, watching as their forces were pushed back. "If we can decapitate their leadership, the rest will fall." Zarthal's appendages danced over the controls, bringing up a detailed scan of the enemy flagship. "There's a weakness in their aft shielding, but it's too well guarded. We need to get a team on board to exploit it." Sarah's eyes narrowed, a plan forming in her mind. "Then that's exactly what we'll do. Zarthal, you have the bridge. I'm leading this one myself." Before the Nervash could protest, Sarah was racing towards the hangar bay. She assembled a small team, a mix of her most trusted human operatives and Nervash specialists. As they boarded a stealth shuttle, Sarah caught sight of Dr. Emily Durand. "Doctor, what are you doing here?" Emily's face was set with determination. I started this alliance. I'm seeing it through to the end." There was no time to argue. The shuttle launched, using the chaos of the battle as cover to approach the Croton flagship. Using a combination of Mirvash cloaking technology and human ingenuity, they managed to slip past the enemy's defenses and dock with the massive ship. What followed was a desperate race against time. The team fought their way through alien corridors, facing waves of Croton defenders. Sarah's combat experience and the Nervash's knowledge of Croton weaknesses proved a lethal combination. They reached the ship's core, where Dr. Durand and the Nervash technicians worked feverishly to override the Croton systems. Outside, the battle raged on, with both sides taking heavy losses. Just as it seemed the human Nervash alliance might falter, Emily's voice rang out. "It's done. We have control." Sarah wasted no time. "All ships, this is Captain Chen. Target the Croton flagship and fire everything you've got." The team barely made it back to their shuttle as the first salvos hit. They watched from a safe distance as the combined firepower of the Allied fleet tore the Croton command ship apart. The effect on the enemy forces was immediate and dramatic. Without central coordination, the once fearsome armada fell into disarray. Ship after ship fell to the human and Nervash assault. As the last Croton vessel was destroyed or captured, a stunned silence fell over the battlefield. Then, slowly, cheers began to erupt across the fleet. The war that had threatened to extinguish humanity had instead forged them into something greater, a spacefaring civilization ready to take its place among the stars. In the days that followed, as the Allied fleet returned to a jubilant Earth, the full impact of their victory became clear. The Croton threat was ended, not just for humanity, but for countless other species across the galaxy. Earth, once a backwater planet, was now known throughout the stars as the world that had stood against impossible odds and emerged victorious. As Sarah stood with Zarthal, watching the sun rise over a free Earth, she reflected on the incredible journey that had brought them to this point. The aliens had declared war, not knowing that humans were born warriors. But in rising to meet that challenge, humanity had proven to be so much more: adaptable, innovative, and capable of forging bonds that transcended the boundaries of worlds. The war was over, but humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. With new allies at their side, and the stars within their reach, the future held limitless possibilities. The human spirit, tempered by conflict and strengthened by unity, was ready to face whatever challenges the universe might hold. As dawn broke on a new era, one thing was certain: humanity had not just survived, they had thrived. And the galaxy would never be the same again.